All right, we are back. Whoa. Turn it down a little bit, man. Yeah, we're back. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, man. It's Wednesday, December 10th, 2014, man. My name is David, a.k.a. Kimba, a.k.a. Christian, alongside Soup, man. And we also got longtime friends, man. Anthony Clarke, a.k.a. Disco, Keith Edwards. Thanks for blessing us.
Long time friends.
Long time friends, man. Thanks for coming out. We're just all here tonight, man. Just, what's been going on, man, we're all kind of grinding it out here in sunny St. Croix, but,
They said it's the Christmas season coming up and us here now, so everybody in this Christmas mood, Christmas carols, and
yeah, they got the tree lit in Sunny Isles.
And all kind of wildness going on, madness and creation again,
Yeah. You guys ready for Christmas, man? Or you're just thankful for life, Forget about Christmas, thankful for life. That's how I feel,
Thankful for life, but you can't forget about Christmas. Just thankful to be able to breathe and experience yet another year in life and being around positiveness. Just want to give a little shout out to a lot of people in the VI right now. It should be excited because it's a new change in ownership as far as politically, new governor. Pretty sure a lot of people have high expectations on that.
You think he's going to be able to pull the trigger, man, and get some things rolling around here, man?
Well, personally, politics, I know from seeing and what I see on TV, is somewhat complicated, and you could never get it right. It's sometimes you inherit situations that cannot be fixed overnight. You just have to try your best and just be for the people. That's all. I always say, if any political official be for the people and his constituents or their constituents, it'll make a more positive impact.
Yeah, man. Well, sorry, man.
Christmas. Let me talk about this Christmas thing, man.
Okay.
Like because it's about time to stop fooling people and deal with this thing and a realness, man. And this December 25th. First of all, the day December 25th do not symbolize it. If it's Christ's birthday, they celebrate it in December 25th. So whatever birthday that date is, we need to really, whoever birthday that is, the pagan gods or whatever they're celebrating. Even back in Jeremiah 10, Jeremiah showed when a man went out in the wilderness, cut down the tree, put it on a stand, decorated with silver and golds. And these men been doing these things from way back then. You understand me? So Christ born, but Christ ain't born December 25th. In December 25th, Christ born. And my whole thing is that I think that the people them need to stop living in this fantasy world.
Well, I agree with you. I think that's a well-known topic right about now, that in fact June 25th was not the birth date of Jesus Christ. However, I must say that it's a symbol, of a man that actually was there and came forth. So I guess, when you break it down and look at it in that aspect, as long as you have the knowledge to know that it's not the right date, but just, basically people got out of whack with buying this or getting that or buying that present, this present. I think we should, that's the day that we set forth to honor him.
Yes, sir.
Well, so you good, man?
Yeah, good. I'm just listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man.
This thing been around for for a while. December 25th, and it's what you gonna make out of it. It's all depend on you. If you're gonna be vain, you're gonna use it as a time to actually reach out and help people who need help. That is something that doesn't matter, who God, which God, pagan and all that kind of stuff. People need help. You can reach out and help someone. You reach out and help someone. That's the way I just look at it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Evans, I agree. I was just about to mention call him Jah, call him Yahweh, call him Jehovah, call him Jesus. It's still different cultures will have different names, but it's still one set say, way of thinking or supreme person that we all give faith for.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's your Perspective Talk Show. We're here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, 8 p.m. until
Yeah, man.
340-201-9005. That's the number you can reach us. Call a friend, tell a friend, call anybody, tell somebody.
Tell somebody about the show, man. Get
Yeah.
online. I forgot to say, too, man, that this show is coming to you tonight from an undisclosed location in the beautiful island of St. Croix, Virgin Islands. No TV, no radio, internet only. That's the only way you can catch your show, man.
Yes, sir.
You will flip the script a little bit tonight, Soup, man. We just blazing some hip-hop music here tonight, man. Just flip it up. We'll get back to the dubs tomorrow night for sure, man.
Anything you brothers had on y'all mind that y'all wanted to express?
Well, you know,
Run it, was.
Start from the top and take it higher up, you know?
well, you know, like I said, the political situation, new transition and everything, it all depends on, when we, start realizing that, every day is a chance for change, to make a better chance, to make a better day, instead of waiting on a time of the season, a political change and stuff like that, because whatever happens in the political arena, it all depends on on us, how we deal. Because if they electing people from amongst us, the people that we elect is going to reflect how we feel and the things that we would do if we was in the same position. So if you want better elected leaders, then we as a community need to start expressing the character that we expect from our leaders.
Do you think we got a better crop this time, man, than last time?
That's left to be seen. Like I said,
Okay.
me, I don't put my faith into political matters because, it's human beings, but it all depends on how we deal with each other every day
Yeah.
still, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
really and truly, we don't really see a senator, when we're in the grocery lines, when we're in church, when we're on the street,
Yes,
when we're
sir.
driving
True
by,
song.
we see each other, you know what I mean?
True
So,
song.
is how we going to deal with each other is what's really, is what's going to make is what really matters, what's really more important, they're going to do what they have to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna act like what they do don't affect us. But we can lessen the effect or even contribute to a better effect by the way that we treat each other. That's all I'm saying.
And I think they're going to start from within your household come out too.
Exactly.
You
It
understand
has
me?
to. Has to
You know?
start from the household,
Because
man.
you can't leave your house and come outside and want to deal with me or deal with you, Kimber, or deal with Wasi or Disco, and you're leaving somebody at home ill. You're leaving somebody unattended or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You understand? So that starts from within the house and it goes out. And that's a true song, was. You
Yeah.
understand me? Yeah, because we got to look at the man in the mirror, which is self, and then make that change.
And improve self. And improve yourself,
You
yeah.
understand? And make a change.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's go. You and I were talking about this before Soup and Wasa got here about just kind of living life on a more simpler level. It's just about taking your whole level of mindset just to the next level.
That's true, Kimba. My philosophy and way of thinking on being right and living right. Everything that a man does is not necessarily in what's what I'm looking for? Agreement with perhaps another individual, but doing what other people feel is right or wrong doesn't make you a righteous or living your life real. Where I feel, once you positive to people and treat people the way you would want them to treat you, and just don't. I was just telling earlier, I remember I was telling you also, I can't plot against my worst enemy. I can't plot. Just thinking positive, and I think if more of us just think positive, that will get us over the hump, because good over evil any day.
Have to be. And it creates space and time in your mind, like in your head, and your headache and all kind of stress and these other ailments that we got to go along with it, to keeping the pharmacies and these doctors in business too. So
Yeah, I was just when I was talking. I was telling him, for me, you know what it is. I was telling him that many years ago, when I went to church, the pastor was talking about what it takes to take your level of Christianity or devotion to that level, to the next level, and that simply was to, in your mind, always think of love. You know what I'm saying? You can't walk around and I have an altercation with somebody and call them this and call them that. That's not what it's about. It's all about just love and spirituality and goodness and kindness. And when you cannot think those thoughts, because we all think bad thoughts, but you gotta stop thinking bad thoughts, and that's what's going to get you to the next level. Your mind's coming pure at that point because you walk around in love. Love is not negativity. It's not any of that bad stuff. It's just love. As you guys were saying, you want to help, and you do what you can, and the respect. It's just love, man. It's just a higher. That's what I'm trying to get to.
So what you brothers think is so hard for us to love each other here upon this God-given earth that Father put us here to do?
You know what I think it is, real quick, man, and I'll let these guys think. I think it's physical or material things, man. Material things.
You want to see what the next man have, or you.
Yeah. I think that breeds negativity. Why he got it? Why let me get his. Why I can't have it? I mean, it's just kind of a funny thing,
Okay.
I guess that's the nature of certain people to always occupy their mind with other people, and you don't know how a person got what they got. They could have gotten it in a bad way. They could have gotten it by hard-earned sweat, which anybody can do. But it's just, I guess, the nature of certain people. You have good and you have bad. Some people just gonna hate you because you're doing something better or doing whatever. The old man had told me a couple of years back that if people don't talk about you, either you're 6 foot under or you're not popular. So I guess that is why it will give them the reason to always want to have to plot against you and do whatever. But it's just love.
Yeah, and you said plot is like the perfect word, because you gotta think of a bad thing to do. To throw somebody off. As simple as cracking in their car, their house. I mean, it's just when you think those evil thoughts, man, it's just
well, it's the animal you feed. I mean, we talk about not seeing love. Everybody love. Everybody love. Everybody. If you're a human being, I mean, you conscious of love. It's just that we are also caught up in our own definition of love. That's how I feel. I'm saying, and how we think that people supposed to love us. I mean, and they're, nobody expecting somebody else's are willing to understand somebody else's definition of love. You know what I'm saying? And because I mean, we talk about all this, like we live in some kind of disorderly place, but is we just said it, especially in the poem, that is a lucid dream, and lucid dreams is something that a dream that you in control of.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you go out and you meet someone who they might be having a bad day. That their way of dealing with you might not be on the level that you feel that you should be appreciated. But on the retrospect, have the ability to change their attitude. Just like their attitude, you using their attitude to change yours, attitude to reciprocate the same attitude that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, if you stop and take some time, and just say something nice. If you can't say something nice, just smile. Maybe you could just change that person that, give them that, what they need, because like you said, we don't really know what's going on in somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? And,
yes.
There's so many stress, so many, the system out here designed to make you live outside of yourself. True peace only could be found inside. You know what I'm saying? And once you're living outside, always being stimulated by exterior, external stimulations, what going on here, what going on there, who this, who that, all the things that really, when you look at it, 99% It's not even important to you, but we give it importance because it gives us some passion. It gives us a reason to feel what we're living and we're doing. But the real peace comes from within. You know what I'm saying? And once you could find a peace within, and not only just feel it, but live with it, then you could pass that on to somebody else. You know what I mean? Because I know many times you met someone and they're in a bad mood and and you just say, okay, I'm gonna just cool. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say something nice. I'm gonna just smile, and when you leave them with a whole totally different attitude. It's like I said, it's what you feel. You either could take them on and use that as an excuse to act just like them. Or you could just, know it's a challenge, okay, let me pass on my happiness, spread it.
That is so true.
That's the key.
If I tell you all, a quick minute to tell you all a situation that when I was doing security in Buccaneer, I had a gentleman came through, Caucasian, and I think I told him some information I was trying to tell him about, giving me his name or paying the facility fee or whatever. And he looked at me and said, I ain't paying a damn thing. But he was more explicit than that. But I looked at him and I said, have a good day, sir. That guy actually came back a few minutes later and told me he apologized to me and tell me, for how he acted. And you're right, sometimes when somebody might have a bad day or they might even not be thinking that's the way how they act.
Right.
They're not personal. They're very, they don't deal with people on a personal basis and they don't have no feeling. Sometimes when you just give them love, they give it back to you.
That's why it's very important, I'm saying, like I said, to live within. Because, when you're within, and that's your character. That's where your character is derived from. And once your character is based on based in concrete and foundation, no matter what somebody else go on act like, your character gonna always represent and gonna always be. A barbarian can't turn you into a barbarian because of his barbaric ways. If you react barbaric, it's because it's something that within you also. And like I said, out here, with the demon possession, it's something happening right now because a lot of us don't live within. We live without, and because we live without, something else get to live within you and control you and determine how you move, how evoke whatever emotions that they want you to have. Whether it be media, whether it be whatever news going on. And you just being jerked around. You're angry here, you're happy here, but you're hopeful here. And when you really look it out, these are things that you're supposed to do right from within. Because if you stop and you look at yourself, you're always at peace within. You're always at peace, no matter what external emotion you're going through. When you stop and you really assess how you really feel within, you're always at peace within.
Right.
Always. And you find that these things is external things trying to get within you. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, right now a lot of us are not really live within. We possess, possessed by whatever's going on out there, and so
God, thanks and praise every day.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Thanks and praise and ward off those evil influences.
That's what I do, Disco, man.
But then again, too, Disco, and what Boss is saying too, because if you are not aware of this is what taking place, you understand, then you're gonna come into a next, you're gonna come to something else.
I think this situation, evilness and whatever, and bad-mindedness been going on for too long. You've got to be aware of that and got to put
Disco, you have to be, but are we aware of it?
I know I am.
Well, okay, but again, then look at what, because again of how the earth runs and how things happen within creation. If we were living in peace within amongst ourselves, we think that half of the chaos that's going on here on earth. No.
So something that Mr. Edwards had said earlier, and I was about to interject, but I didn't. Love. They have people that love or situations that love for a certain reason, and money. When you see it's a love for money, that's the beginning of the root of evil or the beginning of the problem, because.
Even though if it's money, no matter what, it's still the fact is that you're able to love. It don't matter what exterior, what external, what external, whatever, you're still able to love. And like I said, that's what I said earlier. It ain't that lack of love. It's just that is how how we express it. And if we, if we sometimes we'll stop and think about expressing it, not based, so a lot of us like to say, you have to love yourself first. Okay, I can understand. I'm not here to argue, and disagree, but, no matter anything you have is yours. It belongs to you. It's yours, it's yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have things to keep for yourself. You have things to share. That's the joy of, of sometimes the things that you have. You have enough that you could share. So loving yourself goes without speaking. It's being able to share, because to me is too prevailing. The war from the beginning of time is one for all for one versus all for one. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the system is out here right now. It is everybody working towards supporting and benefiting 1%. That's what it is right now. They even say, the 1%. Everybody working to benefit the 1%. How much better life would have been if everybody was working to benefit everybody.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the real. That is how life is. If you look back and look at creation, how creation run, everybody benefits everybody. Nobody you can say, I did this. There's nothing you can say you did on your own. You got on your own. It's always because of someone else was there to offer you a hand. No matter how you want to accept it, acknowledge it or not. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, is this this thing with self? We have this, this disposition, this love for self, and I think we've gone too far with it. I say we need to realize that there's some more than yourself. You know what I mean?
If you have a lot of something, could it be money or a lot of pebbles or whatever it is, you don't enjoy that unless you share it with somebody. The initial stages, you might say, okay, I have all of this, I have all of that. But then really and truly, the joy that it brings on somebody else is what really is the pleasure and really the benefit of having something in abundance and sharing.
All right.
And to me, that's you're saying something? Go ahead, Kimbo.
Yeah, I just kind of moving on a little bit. I wanted to ask you guys, just if you want to or not, just what are your thoughts on this whole thing with the sale of Hovenza? Any thoughts on that? You for it, against it? Because they're voting next week Friday, I believe. Yes or no? I mean, it's really what it comes down to. Any thoughts on because we used to ask the question,
Yes.
when we're dealing with the candidates, close it down, oil storage, or just knock the place down, and then put up a high-tech resort, I mean, I guess at some point that may be, may come into light here, but you for it, against it?
Well, y'all know how I feel about Hess. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how we feel about Hess. Is what Hess already put in the works. You know what I mean? And it's very obvious that Hess was going to close. You know what I mean? From a long time. That was in their business plan. You know what I mean? To close. You can't stop that. You know what I mean? It's what we gonna do now. As far as having some initiative for what we could do. You know what I mean? Instead of waiting for Hess. No. Sometimes it can seem callous because there's a lot of people who made a living, working in Hess, you know what I mean, and the island really benefited more from the money that the people who work in Hess spent in the island than the island benefited from Hess, the corporation itself. Why? If Hess was such an important, aspect, industry in our local economy, with Hess closing, it was supposed to have a greater impact in the island. As far if Hess was such a great contributor to our island, we're supposed to see so many homes being foreclosed, businesses, so many businesses supposed to be shuttered. Businesses are being shuttered more because of the expense of WAPA than because Hess closing.
Yes.
Because Hess closed. So it's as obvious that Hess was not as
a
factor in our regional economy as as it's been played. Is that we were benefiting from the workers who are working inside Hess and the money that they spent in the community. But as far as Hess, the corporation, look at our roads, look at the infrastructure. We cannot blame everything on Hess. You know what I'm saying? What Hess should have done, what Hess could have done. But the magnitude of that industry, you know what I mean, to what we're again, you know what I mean, is just not fair in any sense of the word. You know, and like I said, if Hess decide they want to close, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's their decision, you know what I'm saying? But if we're talking about health issues, you know what I mean, mitigating issues of pollution on the polluting the underground aquifer. You know what I'm saying? Now to come back and say we want to put a next refinery there. You know what I'm saying? For another 50 years, you know what I mean? Where is our vision as far as where we think, you know what I mean, the Virgin Islands could go? I think there's other, you know, as a tourist, you know, economy, as we talk about, you know what I mean, as far as attracting visitors from outside and stuff. I think it'll be a more economic impact if we scrap Hess and open up that part of the island, which is, I have to get this down, you know what I mean, it's all beachfront property.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And instead of, you know what I mean, taking down where our scenic, you know what I mean, building up resorts in our, you know, in our pristine wildlife land, like, you know, out in, you know, the west side, out in Annalibia and all that stuff, we have that whole area where you could just develop. And if you think I'm a lot, you know, if you think it's not possible, there's a place in Hawaii, in Maui, called Lahaina. And it's a strip. It's almost, I mean, Hess, where the land that Hess taken up is even much more expansive. It gives even more room for more development.
Right.
But and this stretch of land is, let me see, it's not even a mile long, and they must have like about 5-10 different resorts. One resort here, next one is a resort, and the next over is a next resort. And it's not like you can't have resorts next to resorts. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have a resort just taking up this whole exclusive area. This is where we like to promote monopolization on this island. You know what I'm saying? We could open up that for beachfront property. No, we could sit back here and you know what I mean, and get caught up in the soap opera that they're playing back and forth like they don't know what's going to be done. There's no more refinery. That is my theory, and just from my educated guess, there's not going to be a refinery going to be placed back there. Is a game they're playing to put the people in a state of desperation. That when they do decide to unfold what they already, you know what I mean, what they already have planned, we're going to just be happy to just take whatever comes. You know what I mean? That's the game that they play, and we got to be aware of these games. So what our senators need to be doing right now is preempting, you know what I mean, start, you know, creating legislation that is going, you know, that is going to empower the people to you know, towards entrepreneurial aspects. You know what I mean? As far as, you know, because St. Croix, Haiti, and Cuba is the last 3 undeveloped islands in the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? Cuba, they can't do nothing in Cuba until Cuba, you know, decide whatever. You know, but St. Croix, you know, we're the last, and you know,
slave revolt again.
You know, I just can't see, you know what I mean? I just can't see, you know, I don't see it. I think it's just a game they're playing, you know, to bring in this little company that, you know, that they know the people is not going to go for that deal. You know what I mean? Come on, you know, it's games. And when we, you know, realize, you know, it's not really to say games. This is how companies and corporations, that is how they do their business. They do their business. Function, yeah. So when you come to the table, you have to come with fortitude. You know what I mean? This is what we want. You know what I mean? So what our senators need to be doing right now is sitting down behind closed doors, getting together with business leaders and people with vision, you know what I mean, and hearing their input.
Do you think they're thinking about it?
No.
I you know, it's human beings, you know, that we're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to, you know, you know, sometimes it's easy to downgrade other human beings because of the position they're in and because the impact they're having on us. And think, you know, we need to stop and think about, you know, how we talk about people, you know, how, you know. So I'm going to give them the benefit that, you know, the system is designed to fail, number one. You know, the political system, Republican, Democrat, is not a cohesion. It's platforms versus platforms. You know what I mean? Trying to, you know, jockey for who have the better platform. You know what I mean? To provide for the people. It's not, you know, really the input of the people. You know, and you know, and if you have, what we need is in St. Croix and St. Thomas is coalitions of 7. 7 people come together with a vision and an idea, and this is how this is how we're going to approach it. But if you have 7 people with 7, 7, jacking for 7, for whatever, reason that they're in there, which obviously ain't working because it's not representing the people. We're gonna always have this situation. Like I said, until we could get a coalition, of senators coming in with one mind instead of this, this Democratic Republican platform that's way back from some gay Greek guys. I'm sorry for whoever gay out there listening. But hey,
politics is what you call it, or you should say politics. It's just a platform. This is my agenda, another platform that have another agenda, another way of beliefs, and it just goes back and forth in a circle.
So let me ask you this, Go. So if you were a senator, what would you vote on that deal, man? Yes or no?
I would vote yes, even though my brother, Mr. Edwards, gave some very deep. I'm all for that also. If that's not in place, as long as something else can be done that would be in place, because St. Croix, the economy needs a jump start. Now, the closing of Hess didn't affect St. Croix like people anticipated, but it still did affect, because they had a domino effect. It's not one person that was dependent on a Hess check. Sometimes it's all like 10, 12, 20 people, depending on how the person have, keep
businesses, families.
Exactly. So, it was an impact, but we just need a jump start. I would vote yes, but I have a gut feeling that it's not going to be, because just like anything else that would have brought or stimulate the economy, it's always some reason or that can't come. The two sides can't come together, and might not happen.
Well was coming over here earlier. Soup and I had a conversation on the amount of money that's being spent on importing food. It was shocking to me. I would have never guessed that high a figure. You know what I'm saying? As far as importing food. So
have like a surplus. I know.
Well,
yeah, go ahead, Was.
Yeah. So, I see, like I said, if the plazas, what I was gonna say. All right.
About the amount of money spent here in food.
Yeah, the amount of money spent here, and importing food. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of money that's being exported out. It's not recirculating in the community. That is one of the main problems here in the Virgin Islands. A lot of the money is not being circulated within the community. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it is being taken. A great proportion. of it is being taken out of the economy. It's not being recirculated in the economy. So what? Like I said again, what our senators, with the power they have, is to start now having foresight and vision and bringing forth legislation that's going to promote entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? Starting, not only on the, in the business owners, but in the schools. Start promoting, skills, that could be used outside, on an independent basis, from an entrepreneurial aspect. $300 million, in food, and we're just talking about food.
Just
food
food
we're
alone.
not talking about gas, we're not talking, all the foreign,
furniture,
yeah, stuff that, to
commodities,
pay for your house and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So when we start owning again, directing how we spend our money, where we're going to spend our money, you know what I'm saying? Start becoming cohesive, you know what I mean? And you know, where we put our wealth and stuff like that. We could direct, we could direct stuff. We could direct change. But like I said, we just apart, bro. You know what I mean? Because we're apart, we could see the problems, but nobody can attack the problem because it's just one here. But when like I said, when we come together, we could expect that change, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we talk about the economy, this and that, but there's people here who just living well every day, and how they're living well off of is our ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And like I said, once we, it's right there what I want to say, but my mind got kind of distracted. You know what I mean, for a minute, but like I said, is here. You know what I mean? What we need to do, you know what I mean, is start taking, things into our own hands instead of just sitting back and giving other people, you know what I mean, blaming others for what they're not doing. You know what I mean? Okay, what are you gonna do? Yes. So that's what it's about. If any change gonna affect in your life that's meaningful, it gotta be directed by you.
Yeah. Just go. So you said yes, and you're saying
me.
No.
I said no. You know what I mean? From the beginning, like I said, what was keeping the economy, obviously, was keeping our economy going was more the workers. The money that the workers were spending. As far as Hess. You know what I mean? What benefiting the island? You know what I mean? I don't see it. I find we have we feel more economic impact by people leaving the island because they couldn't find because they had to go and work someplace else than Hess itself. Because I don't see the great chaos. You know what I mean? I hate to use the word. The great disorder that they claim. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when Detroit, when the automakers, when the auto companies started closing down in Detroit, you could have seen the impact. You know what I mean? There's this whole towns right now, you know what I mean? That's ghost towns, you know what I mean? Empty foreclosure signs all over the place, you know what I'm saying? Nah.
It didn't happen here. It didn't happen here like that.
So Hess, it's obvious that we were not benefiting, you know what I mean, from that industry, you know what I mean, economically. That could have been to our benefit, to the maximum of our benefit.
Right.
As far as I could see.
Well, for me, is that the USDA did a study. The Department of Agriculture did a study here in the Virgin Islands. I'm not sure if it was the territory or just St. Croix, but it have to be the territory.
Yeah, this is how they do those kind of things.
$300 million worth of food have been imported in here every year, and they told the government straight up and down, all they need to do, they could cut, because most of the thing that they importing we could grow right here. They told the government they have to start now investing in growing those stuffs here. They could make an economy, and they could make create work and have a viable economy and save $150 million. Nobody went ahead and did it. So that's another industry that could also be tapped into very easily. And very simply.
Yeah, for sure, man.
We always talk about agriculture here in the island, and we do a great disservice to the people who here are farmers, that farming. Because there's people here who, I would put up with anybody, who from the other islands, Dominica, St. Lucia, all these islands that's supposed to be so productive as far as food-wise. I would put St. Croix on the scale with any of them as far as the amount of product that we put that's being grown, that's growing here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the problem is it's growing on a lot of people's yard. You know what I'm saying? People grow their own, plant a pear tree, in the backyard, you know what I'm saying? Backyard garden. When you drive up along St. Croix, in most people's yards, you see breadfruit, pear trees, coconut trees, there's bananas, there's a lot of food growing here. Yeah, that's going to waste, and because there's no market for it, you know what I mean? So we need to provide a market for these, and when you have a market, then you're going to give people incentive to do more. You know what I'm saying? But if what they have right now, we're not doing anything with it, now we can talk about is exporting. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. That's the type of topic I was trying to remember. That's what made me kind of had the brain freeze right there. We always talk, about importing. The local market is where the money is at. Not exporting. The local market. Do you hear how much? $300 million in importing food. You know what I'm saying? That means if you're supposed to cut that in half, you know what I mean? That's $150 million circulating in our community right there. You know what I'm saying? 150 million. You know how many farmers? You know what I'm saying? You know that could benefit from that money. You know how many people in the island in the islands could benefit from that money circulating. So like I said, it is not the people. It is those who in the positions of power that is not having the vision and the fortitude to bring, you know what I mean, to bring these things to the table that the people could maximize and you know what I mean, what they already have. You know what I mean? When it comes to avocados, we shouldn't be importing avocados. You know what I'm saying? You know, we shouldn't be importing. You know what I mean?
We importing tamarind. We importing
all these kind of
these things.
Tamarind
juice, coconut juice,
tamarind. You know what I mean? We have tamarind. You know what I mean? Knocking dog. And then again, you know what I mean? Again.
And they're selling. So it shows you that
as a matter of fact,
there is the market to it. There is a market for it. You understand?
Market is not something only what people need. Market is creating avenues for people to have access to things.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not only, well, you know, I don't think the people are gonna need this, so we can't create a market for it. No, a lot of the things that you use right now is stuff that was marketed to you. You know, and when you go and shop, a lot of the things you buy is not because basically you might need the product. But the product that you buy was based because of a marketing technique, you know what I mean, that was used, and so you buy that product. Like when you go in and you buy, you go and buy detergent. Why do you choose, you know what I mean,
gain over time?
You know what I mean, over time, the more expensive one, you know what I mean, over the less cheaper one. You know what I'm saying? People say, oh, they work better. I go to the laundry for myself. I see women coming there with the same low cost detergent, and their clothes come out sparkling. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not to say it's because of is your weakness. You know what I mean? Yeah, marketing is based a lot of, you know, the market right now is based a lot of our 90% of the market is based on our ignorance. The market thinks to us that we're not aware that we need or we don't need. You know, but like I said, it's marketing. You know what I mean? And that's all we need. You know, we need, you know, people come out here and start put the, you know, the benefits of, you know, of these products and what they can provide for you, you know.
All right, man. We're gonna hold it right there. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right. We are back. 9:34 p.m. on Wednesday, December 10th. This is David, aka Kimber, aka Christian, alongside Soup. Yeah, we're back, man. We got Keith Edwards is in the house tonight, man. Anthony's name is still there. He's still here, but he's not there. We just go roll on, you know. Just go roll on from there, you know. So what were we talking about, man?
Agriculture. We're talking about how we could make this thing a viable place where instead of making heads come back out here and pollute the place and all of these.
Yeah, you know, I used to say on the show, man, when it comes to here, man, everybody on St. Croix, 40,000 people should go out tomorrow morning and throw seeds somewhere. That's how it's gonna get started, you know.
What kind of seeds?
Any kind of seed, just to get something planted and growing, you know. Just some seed, just throw some seed you got out in your backyard. I don't care what it is.
Papaya, orange, mango.
I don't care what it is. Get that agriculture growing, man.
You know? Like I say, agriculture is going. It is marketing agriculture, you know what I mean, and making it, you know what I mean, making it more making the products that the farmers have accessible to the market. My aunt, my family, and my father's side had a family reunion in Antigua, 2014. Yeah, family reunion, and didn't make it. But when my aunt came back, you know, starting to her, she was like, in Antigua, farming is, I mean, everybody farming. She was like, even the doctor that she went to, he have his farm because it is viable, you know what I mean, economically viable, because whatever you produce, the stores down there, the grocery stores in Antigua cannot import whatever is being produced in Antigua for the season.
See there?
Cucumber you know what I mean, is in season, you know what I mean, and they have enough to provide for the market, they have to buy the local produce
yes,
before they could import.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
No, I can't see why we can't have that
Mindset.
that mindset and that kind of, you know what I mean, cooperation between the grocery stores and the local farmers. In Hawaii, the same thing. Hawaii is a place where organic farms, you know what I mean, is a big organic farm culture over there. They thrive because they produce whatever they have. That's who the hotels, the grocery stores and stuff buy from. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we do a great disservice here when we talk about agriculture, where the people, there's a lot of people here that is farming. Everybody here, like I see you drive around, but there's no market. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why am I going to plant more food when you don't have a market for what I already have?
That's right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? So we need to attack, you know, instead of having people, you know what I mean, put issues to us according to how they want us to be. We have to, you know, look at these issues and put them into the proper perspective. You
Yes,
know what I mean,
sir.
as how it can be beneficial, you know, towards the people are solving the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back then in the days, back then in the 1800s, we had horse and carriage and we are feeding ourselves plus half of the world. Now today we got a modern technology and we can't just feed our own self. So how that come around now? How?
Well, you know, I look at it like this, you know, when the grocery store keep on raising the prices, you know, what gonna happen is eventually, if you can't afford to buy something, you know what I mean, you're gonna stop eating, you know. I mean, you're not afford to buy the food that's
them.
being marked, that's being
Yes.
produced for you. You're gonna go and find something else to eat. There's a lot of things that we're able to eat that we're not eating because we're able to go to a grocery store.
Yes.
We cannot afford what's in the grocery store to eat no more, you know, to eat. We're gonna go to the stuff that's there to eat. You know what I mean? That we usually neglect. You know, that's how it's gonna happen. So they're playing this. The games they're playing is they're gonna be the losers in the outcome.
Yes.
Because if you look, like I said, a lot of the stuff we eat today, it was stuff that poor people was eating, and that's what it became. It made its way to the market. The regular people never used to eat oats. Oats was animal feed, but because we couldn't afford, a lot of the poor population couldn't afford to buy whatever cereal that was popular. They started eating oats and realized, you know, the health benefits. You know, what it benefited. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden we realize, well, you know, hey, oats became in the market. So like I said, there's a lot of things that we eat right now that was not in the market. It became in the market because of us. You know what I mean? Because of, well, say us, you know, the poor population. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I said, you know, when the game is all done, is the consumers is going to win, because when you have stuff on the shelf that I can't afford, you know,
Just stay there.
who you gonna, you know,
Yes,
we gonna still live. You know what I mean?
That's for
You
sure.
know, you force people. You know what I mean? They're gonna resort to their creative abilities, and that's independence.
Yes.
Well, when we had Grantley Samuel, you know, he's a local farmer here. You know, he was saying that you know, farming isn't for everybody. You know, I guess it's long days, but I think farming is one of those things where people just think it's still just a worthless.
Yeah, they look down on it.
It's a meaningless, worthless job. You know, they don't see that. You know, in a lot of ways, growing your own stuff and feeding yourself, and then even selling is grand. It's basic. It's just basic, you know,
But
economics in a
like I
sense.
said, that's already happening. Like if you say it's not for everybody, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, you know what I mean, there's a lot of people who, you know, who.
I mean, I'd like to try and be a farmer. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know?
I mean, just, you know, get up and do what I got to do. You know, I mean, I understand the worth of it. You know,
And then to eat healthier, you're eating much more healthier.
yeah, you know,
That's one of the key benefits for it. You know, you're eating healthier and you're gonna save them some money in your pocket too.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
Yeah, man. Hopefully, when he takes off, he jumps up. He said he's up to like 5 acres, and when he gets up to the 10 and 20 range, he needs some help. You know.
okay.
You know. Anyway, what else? What else is going on, man? What else is going on around town these days? Christmas is coming. Village is going to be opening up on the 26th, I think.
Okay.
What else is going on, man?
Well, a time of festivities, and we hope, you know, I mean, the people, you know, I mean, come together. You know, the time when you get to see a lot of people that
You
you
ain't
ain't
see
seen in
for
a
a
while. You know what I
long
mean? So
time,
let's let's take it for the benefits and put aside all the stuff that you know we need to start interacting with each other again. Things are running much better, and people are much more happy when we used to interact. When people used to come together and interact. But no, we're so isolated.
One
You know what I
away,
mean?
we
That-
one away, we too
Yup.
busy. And St. Croix, we too busy. And St. Croix, 82 square miles.
You know.
You know?
Way busy. Way busy.
Busy doing what? Making nothing. So as back in the day to us,
Making nonsense.
As you saying, come together. I'm sitting on here thinking, no, when my old man was building when my dad was building our home, our house, any given Saturday you could got 20 man deep in our yard. Man, we cook, we buy beer, we got food. Then I walk this weekend. Next weekend we go and buy Wasi them house now, and we walk out over there. And then the next weekend, but do those things go on now today?
Well, it's the American dream. You know what I mean? We scream and but it's the American dream. And that's the nature of the beast. You know what I'm saying? With material things, the access to material, not the material things, blaming material things, but with the love that we start placing on these material things, and the value we started placing on them, it became more than the very your very neighbor, your very human, human being like yourself. So of course, that's what. But like I said, if we look at life, and everything always gonna reboot itself. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, when the economic, when the games of the economic system stop, they stop playing the games. You know what I'm saying? And we realize, well, we're the real economy, and start, expressing that. Then we're gonna have to come back to these days, because again, a lot of us people, we think as money as the only thing, of the only way of accessing things. Like I have to tell my son sometimes, look, don't ever look at things as something, your ability to have something by if you could afford it. It is. You got to look at it as is it worthwhile having? Is it worthwhile the sacrifice you're gonna take? You're gonna need to make to acquire it. You know what I'm saying? But never look at how much something costs, because it's not really money. It is your will, and you determine the amount of effort you're willing to put forward to acquire it.
Yes.
So when we we get back to the real economy of things, we the people, within one another. You know what I mean? We're gonna start coming back to that day where, it's not money. Because like back in the days, there's a lot of people, like that lady was talking about, there's a lot of people who were maids, cut grass, wash car, not no big time job, that doesn't demean any kind of job. But these people still acquired property, homes, whatever they needed, as a human being, to represent success. You know what I'm saying? Not because money, but because the will and the determination and the discipline it took. You know what I mean? To acquire these things. And once the money, and the access to money, is removed. Gone. Not to say the economic system down. We ain't gonna stop living. We can just find a better way, because money always been around. It was one thing, and some cultures was shells, some was beads. Gold, silver, whatever. There's always going to be a monetary system in place as far as trading and exchanging of goods, services, skills, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when we start putting the value of, the priorities and our values again, we're going to realize that we don't really need, it's not money that keeping us from accessing certain things that we need to have. It's the way we go about it. And when we get back to the cooperation again, then, everybody who needs a house and wants a house and able to, to provide, to access even the basic materials, going to be able to have a house again, because we're going to have the skill that's there. Because skill ain't going to go away, because, boy, you can stop being a mason a carpenter because there's no money. You know what I mean? Any money that way you develop a skill. You know, because that's your natural, you know, your creative inclination. You know what I mean? And that's how you know, you creatively express yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna always, you know what I mean, have a reason and the need to express that. People, because money, you know, people are gonna need homes no more and stuff. You know, we're gonna find new ways and new values. And I think what's happening right now, you know, sometimes that's why, you know what I mean, it's easy to sit back and point, you know what I mean, and scream and complain, but I think things really happen how it's supposed to happen, because it's what's needed for us to realize our true creativity and our true, you know what I mean, potential, that we need to step forward. You know what I mean? That we need to overcome the problems that we're facing. You know, a problem is not the end. You know what I mean? It's just that you know, it's just that impetus to find that genius that you need to overcome that problem. Because we're made to strive. And that's what makes us, you know what I mean, intelligent, you know what I mean, intellectual beings, because our ability to overcome, strive, see a problem, overcome it, you know what I mean, and move on.
Yes.
So, you know,
Well,
that's how.
let me ask you about you know, do they have these senseless you know, police shootings, hands up, you know, the whole hands up thing, man.
Oh, you had to touch my.
I know that's like a near and dear and very serious. It's serious to me too. You know, I mean, this stuff is just getting out of hand. You know, I think that like, you know, you hear me saying, like, you guys have been hearing me say lately, you know, I just think that these police officers took 1 extra second, man, to assess the situation, man, and determine that, okay, that's a toy gun, I don't need to kill this dude or lady. But you know, they don't take that extra second, and then you got someone dead, and you know, it's just you know, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? You know, it's a disconnect.
Let's look at this now. In all these incidences, how many of the, you know, if we say police, you know what I mean? Okay, there's a lot of police that is black too. How many of these incidences is a black police killing a black child, a black teenager? How many of the incidences, you know what I mean, a black police and a black, you know what I mean, it's always a white police officer. You know what I'm saying? That's you know, instigating, insinuating, whatever you want to call it, you know what I mean? The brutality. And we can sit back and, you know, I don't believe in coincidences. You know, there is certain things that happen, you know what I mean, at the same time and stuff like that, but you know, there's something that we calculate that's not coincidence. You know, we have to look at it for what it really is. And this is a direct internal barbarity, that ignorance that's still living in America. You know what I mean? That our foreparents came here, and the character that our foreparents, you know what I mean, strive to express, and the barbarity that our foreparents strive to overcome. You know what I mean? It's still here in America. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, it is showing itself to be relevant as a country that is the guiding light as far as civilization go, because it is trampling the very essence of character, you know what I mean, and of civilization, of how civilized people act. This is what I really want to get to. The Ku Klux Klan, you know, we act like they're just gone. They ain't gone. You know what I'm saying? They come with a new strategy. You know what I'm saying? They are now in the system. They are now police officers. They are no congressmen, senators. You know what I mean? They join the political party. You know what I mean? That's why we have the Tea Party. You know what I mean? That's the KKK right there. You know what I mean? That's their political arm right now. You know what I'm saying? And these people now have now joined, you know what I mean, in society where they could express, you know what I mean, these heinous, barbaric, you know what I mean, ideas and ideologies that they have towards us. Because like I said, in none of these instances, it is never a black police officer that's instigating the problem. It's always a white and black. You know what I mean? That cannot be coincidence. You know what I mean? And we got to start looking at it for what it really is. So, this is the problem that the people, and you know, I mean, I'm very happy for you know, I'm very, you know, I mean, I'm glad that you know, there's so many people coming out, you know, I mean, in New York and across the whole United States against this police brutality thing, because it's been going. You know, I mean, how could you, a chokehold could be against police procedure, but then you know what I mean, you know, you don't indict when it's right there on camera. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that is ingrained in the system. You know what I mean? In the character and the conduct of these people, and they have shown themselves, you know, that they have trampled our ancestors' contributions, you know what I'm saying, as far as civilized people, because I just can't see the justice, you know, something when you look at, you know what I mean, and a lot of the posts of how police are dealing, you know what I mean, it's like gangs. You know what I mean? If you look at, you know what I mean, a crip, you know what I mean, a crip will beat down, you know what I mean, a blood if they catch him in their territory. You know, when you look, if you take, you know what I mean, it's no different. Something is even more, you know, it's even more brutal, because these are people who claim that they, you know what I mean, they're there to protect and serve. No, we have a way of looking at terms and not looking at the reality of what's really happening. You know, because they say provide, protect and serve. You know what I'm saying? We say, hey, they're there to protect and serve us. But let's look at the situation and see who they really protect and serve. Let's say, Kmart, Plaza, one of these places, you know what I mean, decide they ain't paying their employees, you know what I mean, for whatever reason. And all the employees now supposed to start striking, you know what I mean, and start rioting out in front. No. By right, you're supposed to get paid for your work. You know what I'm saying? That's labor laws. When the police come, who is the police going to protect and serve? Whose property the police is going to protect?
Plaza.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So it is right there before. Like I say, you know what I mean, we fall for these illusions, you know what I mean, that's being placed before us, and we don't face things with reality. And that is one of the reasons, you know what I mean, I look forward to the youths, you know what I'm saying. And you know, we like to, you know, well, the youths is this, and like we want to blame the father of the 21st century on the youths. Well, you know what I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be there who's supposed to dismantle it, because they're the ones who are gonna have to live, you know, they're the future. You know what I mean? And they're the ones who you know what I mean, who's gonna have to build, who's gonna have to start over, not us. We're on our way out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, we are showing ourselves to be, on the most part, irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Because
Wasi, let me ask you, man, what do you think is the disconnect between, because, you know, obviously we're all of a certain age here, and so, you know, we come at a different time, but what do you think the disconnect is, you know, now with, you know, these 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 18, 20-year-old kids, man? I mean, you know, what's gone wrong in their lives? They need more parental control. They need Jesus. They need Rastafari. You know, they got you know, like minor teenage pregnancies and all this stuff. I mean, just you know, I mean, what do you think is causing that? I mean, that whole you know,
we need to stop impeding their progress. That's what we need to stop doing. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop retarding our youths. You know, I sit down and I think about it. It's funny, you know, I mean, just a couple of days I've been sitting down and, you know, I mean, that when a child is born, up until, you know what I mean, creation, life, you know what I mean, does everything it has to do for that child to progress. At a certain time, we as parents, because, you know, we don't know no better, that's our, you know, we claim we don't know no better, you know, whatever, you know, if you take time to study whatever, you're going to know what it takes. But anyhow, it comes at times when our parents retard us. Your child, what we be calling a child, age we be calling a child, an adult.
Yeah, hold on. We're gonna take a quick break. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Whoa, right. We're back. Just that quick, man. Poof.
You know, the disconnect I see is we are not keeping up with the progress of the youths, the creative progression of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like for this, simple. Back in the days when our parents used to go to school, you know what I mean? They never had pen. A lot of them never had book and paper, pen and paper. They had slates. You know what I'm saying? Chalk. What was it? Like a piece of stone, and you wrote. What you used to write on and this like this board. That's what you carry to school, and then you wipe it off and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? As youths progress, you know what I mean? That could, you know what I mean? They had pen and paper now became a a new, pencil and paper, provided a new joy, some new to use as far as school. When you get to school now, you can't wait to get to school to use your new pencil and paper. You step because that's the natural, that's the progression of humanity. Now, for example, when we was youth, if you're supposed to look at some of the shows we used to look at as youths, you sit back and say, damn, was I that retarded? This is what used to entertain us, It's like,
Are you talking about Sanford and Son, man, or what?
That's Sanford and Son, like let's say Lost in Space. The effects.
Just that futuristic kind of stuff. Yeah.
How corny it was. We used to fall for that. When at this time the youths nowadays look at us stuff. You crazy? I can see the string hold up. The spaceship. That ain't. So what I'm trying to say is, humanity, life itself, whatever society, proper civilization, have to be able to keep up with the progression of each succeeding generation. And we have been falling behind, not because it's natural to fall behind, it's because we have other groups, entities that have ideas, for how they think, society should go. Which is sometimes, a lot of times, not in our best interest. Because, let's look at it this way. We have a lot of youths in school that they claim can't read, in the 12th grade, reading on a 4th grade level, 10th grade reading on a 3rd, 4th grade level. But you give these same students a smartphone. You know what I'm saying?
They turn it up.
And they, and these smartphones, they don't, it's not sign language. They have words like confirm. Accept. You know what I'm saying?
So you have to be able to read those words
to
know what to do.
You know what I'm saying? So what happened is, pen and paper now cannot longer keep up with the is no longer, tools are not tools enough to keep up with the potential and the learning progression of our youths. What do we need now? We need iPads in school. That's the new technology.
Yes. Technology, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, from slates it went to pen and paper. From books. To now the technology of you have all the information you need in the world at your hands. You know what I'm saying? It's more easier. Imagine nowadays when you had to do a report for school. How much books we had to go. You had to go to the library. You had to take down this book, and you had to go and cross-reference from that. Go and find that book to cross-reference and all that stuff. No, you right there. You know what I'm saying? And not to say, you're making it easy. It's not a matter of fact of making it easy or making it hard. It is keeping up with the progression of human intellect. You cannot hold it back. You cannot hold back human progression. When you hold it back. What we're experiencing right now is exactly what you're going to experience a disconnect with your youths because you're not keeping up with the progression of the youth's potential to learn and to progress. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, going back earlier what I was saying, by the time your child is 12, your child is not a child no more. It is now on towards maturity. I'm not saying because they're 12, because they have breasts and because no sin period mean, sex has nothing to do with it. Supposed to start introducing that child, that young adult, you know what I'm saying, into the responsibilities of life. Not, it's still a child, I gonna hide this and I gonna hide. Because when you hiding your child, that young adult access to certain things, when they go to school and they're not around you, what you think happening? You know what I'm saying? No, you tell them don't do this, don't do that. You can't listen to, you can't see this, you can't do that, holding them back from things that they're going to be introduced to out there anyway.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen? You're going to lose your child to peer pressure. So what we got to start doing now is using peer pressure is a natural form of human expression. You know what I'm saying? It's not something introduced to us. It's how we live. If you have 10 people with a yard and, 3 of them, 4 of them wasn't cutting the grass and everything, and everybody start cutting the yard, keeping the yard clean and stuff. Eventually, everybody else will start to, eventually start to, because that's how life is, you know what I mean? We have an effect on each other, and we need to start using this now into our advantage instead of having people using it against to our disadvantage.
Hold that thought, Wasi.
Yeah.
Right there. Slow down. I like this track too, but we just got a text. Someone says they need parental control. We were angry because our parents were there. That they were angry because our parents weren't there. I guess is sort of what this person's saying here. Any specific comments on that? She says they need parental control. We were angry because our parents were not around. Essentially, I guess she's saying
that is exactly what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you want to,
because
sure.
of, two parents got to work. We use all kind of stuff, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Whatever, but you still have to have that time to interact with your child.
Yeah.
And and that's like I said. We have a lot of the time when we're supposed to be acknowledging the maturity of our child, we spend a lot of time retarding that maturity, you know what I mean, by, thinking, well, because we shun them from certain things, that keep certain things from them, that they're going to have access to it. That's you know what I mean?
So, Soup, you read it. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was reading what but yeah, go ahead, man. We just, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought again. I apologize for that. But
no problem, you know what I'm saying? There's somebody texts, you know what I mean? They had an issue that they wanted, you know what I mean, to touch on, and, like I said, how many of us, you know what I mean, used to think, you know what I mean, how many of us had our parents interact with us, come and say, well, sit down and say, hey, son, how was your day? You know what I mean? How you doing? You know what I mean? You seen any girls? How you know what I mean? How's your relationship with your friends, with your girl? How many of us can remember having a conversation with our parents other than don't do this, don't do that?
Yeah.
I
used to ask my son every day, did you learn anything today? Did you learn anything in school today?
So as generations, as generations go along, things are going to progress, because you didn't have certain things as a child. When you become a parent, you're going to provide that, it's a natural, it's a progression of humanity, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, these, because you came from a bad parent, sometimes that person turned out to be a very good parent.
Excellent parent.
You know what I mean? Because of, that's how we learn. Sometimes we learn not only by positive influence, but also by negative, stimulation,
Parental control, I guess you covered that too, right?
Parental control.
Yeah, she says they need parental control. I guess, no TV, no iPad. Back when my son was coming up, back then was just cable TV. No BT. No parental control. I guess.
Control.
Now there's much more to control, than back in the
day. And you can't control.
Everything.
Even back in the day,
because you're not around. You're not.
We did stuff that our parents, you know what I mean, didn't allow us to do. You know what I'm saying? So, is again, allowing, finding a way to interact with that young adult, from the time as a child coming into being a young adult. Don't think when you're 18, by 16, 14, 15, 16, you're too late. You know what I'm saying? If you're a person that, what you're supposed to be doing, you start, at a certain age, you start taking your child out with you, you know what I'm saying? Certain places, you know what I mean? Well, this is how grown folks hang out, you know what I mean? This is how the conversations we have, you know what I'm saying? And then you take them out, you chaperone them, and then after a while, you let them, eventually, you let them go out on their own, you know what I'm saying? But like again, there's a lot of good parents, so there's a lot of people doing the right thing.
Excellent thing.
And, but, society likes to look at the people who not, that makes news, and that creates,
it's easier for them.
That creates, whatever tempo, that they want, to be going on, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot more things to give thanks for, a lot more things for us to appreciate, if we look at it from its right angle and right perspective, you know what I'm saying? Our youth, you cannot cry down the youth because the youth are the future. You know what I mean? It's out of the babes, out of the mouth of babe and sucklings, not out of the mouth of old folks.
Yes.
You know?
And then as I tell everybody, as I was telling everybody now, you just open up your eyes and see, because any government that's making a change right now in the earth, who is pushing it? Is the youth. Is the youth them that is pushing the handle to make these changes happen? You know, so
again, you know, like I said, we just need to, you know, those of us who have the frame of mind, the ability to always, you know, keep education, you know what I mean? And Trevor, like I said, you know, it's not the youths, you know what I mean? It's we are falling, you know, we're lacking in providing the tools, we're falling behind in providing the tools that is necessary to keep up with the progression of our youths, you know what I mean? Ability and inclination to learn. That is it. You know what I'm saying? We pass book and paper. For a fact, I gave my son he wasn't even 4 yet. He was about 4. I gave him hours, you know what I mean? He wanted what was that handle? PSP. Got him one. Couldn't read. Well, he could read, you know what I mean, but not, you know what I mean, and handle this PSP like, because that is there. That is what no can stimulate their mind. Yes, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Like I said, again, you talk about the youth, you know what I mean, in special ed in school, you know what I mean, and just learning. Could be you give them a smartphone and bam, you know what I mean, and they're sending texts and no, okay. They send you a text and they're little, you know what I mean, however little short, and you send them back a text proper, you know what I mean, they read it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So like I said, you know what I mean, is a disconnect, you know what I mean, and we blaming the youths, you know what I mean, we're not keeping up, you know what I mean, and providing the tools that's necessary for them, you know what I mean, to keep up on, you know, with the new expanded way that the youth's mind, you know what I mean, expressing itself.
Yes,
you know. The race can remain stagnant, you know what I'm saying, and progress, you know what I mean. You know, you need, you know, each generation have to succeed the other one.
Greater than the past one.
Be greater than the past one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and what will happen, like I said, is, you know, we're not providing tools.
Yeah. We're gonna take another break. Recharge. I need to get some water. I'm thirsty. All right. We'll be right back. Stand by. All right. We are back. Turn the chair around there. Soup will be right back on a mission. Westside is still in the studio, man. What were we talking about, man? We're talking about all kinds of stuff. What's going on, man? Wapa.
Youths.
Yes. We were talking about the disconnect.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we were youths at one point, too.
Yep.
And, but I think the youths now are just even more out of control than even when we were youths. You know what I'm saying?
Look at it. Look, you know, I mean, look at all the things that, you know, that they have been thrown at them. You know what I mean? At you know, at an early age. You know what I mean? There's really no filter. You know, and again, like I said, how they're acting is only because of, you know, our inability to deal with them, you know what I mean, in a manner that you know what I mean, that to keep up with you know with their natural state of progression. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of times, you know, retarded, you know, your child, you know, from the time your child is born, you know, it progresses from a baby to an adolescent to a teen.
Let me ask you, man. What are your thoughts on spanking kids, man? You think you're for it or against it? You know, like just whipping your child. You know, there's a lot of issues with that. You know, at a national level too. People, you know, using tree branches and, you know, I mean, but do you? I got my ass whipped. My son, you know, didn't really whip him a lot. I just never felt. I just, you know, it wasn't a thing to do, you know. But what are your thoughts on that, you know? And then with that kind of level of discipline, I guess is what they call that, you know.
I think as far as a conversation, you know what I mean, or sharing information. Yeah, you know what I mean, I think that, you know, we could go as far as that. But as far as your parental rights is being determined by opinions, you know, I have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We already have laws against abuse, you know, and that goes from a child to an adult, you know, and I'm not for, me personally, I don't, you know, I wouldn't really, you know, I think it's a better way to try and raise your child without having to spank him than and having to resort to that. But then if as a parent, you know what I'm saying, you know, having to deal with their son, you know,
Yeah.
times when probably son parents have to resort to that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's within their parental rights, because as a, you know, like again we say, you know what I mean, oh, you know what I mean, spanking the children is so heinous, you know what I mean, and whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, but you know,
I
look at the police brutality. Look how, you know, look at the rights that police have over you as a grown person. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, because police have the right to brutalize, you should have the right to that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you can't, you know, you walking on a serious ground when you determine parental rights, what a parent can and can't do as far as, you know, parenting the child, because we're you know, we're setting precedents, you know what I mean, that where does it stop? You know, when you know, like I said, you have a law saying that my child cannot be outside after 10. But then you have a, you know, I still know is going to be responsible for what that child do when it goes out the house, but I don't have no way of stopping the child from leaving the house. Sometimes you might have to resort to physical restraint in order, you know what I mean, to keep your child inside the house, you know what I'm saying? And, nobody wants to have to resort to that, but unfortunately that's what they have to. That's how certain households,
and that's
you know,
the, and that's the parents' right to do that.
To do that, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you remove the parents' rights in order enforce, you know, ability to enforce their rights, what are you going to do now? Have some kind of institution that's now going to be responsible for institution, you know, as far as implementing these rights, you know, I mean, now we're going to have, you know what I mean, a truancy, you know what I mean, board, you know what I mean, that's going to come in and determine how you should discipline your child or punish if needs be. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't see, you know what I mean, okay, oh, you know what I mean, it's inhumane, it's brutal, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know what I mean, look at our penal system, you know what I mean, you know, there's consequences to actions. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just a quick story. I was somewhere on the weekend, a little boy I know real well was telling me that at his school here, you know, when he gets there late, or anybody gets there late, they actually clap him in their palm. I was like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, David. Yeah, that's what they do there." What in the world is going on, man?
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Okay, you know what I mean, for being late, but you know what I mean. That
you
is
know,
something.
I mean, is that okay? I mean, is that okay to do that? I mean, you know, that's, I guess is my concern. Is that okay to do that? Okay, I'm late, but damn, you don't have to smack me in my. That's like punish. That's like, you know, that's like torture to a little kid. You know, he's only like 7 years old.
Well, you know, hey, I got spanked in school. You know what I mean? From the principal. Soup was in my class. You know what I mean? You remember that time when the principal come and spanked the whole class?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For doing stuff that we wasn't supposed to be doing.
We wasn't supposed to be on that side of the school.
On the next side of the library. You know what I mean? In Lumapa school. Cause we used to play this game called 1, 2, 3 double 30. You know, like a catch game, and we just used to run helter skelter, run over little, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Third graders, second graders. You know what I mean? So okay, you know, don't go on the other side. And we went and, you know, playing, and, you know, eventually, you know, we crossed the borders, you know, and we got punished, you know, we got spanked. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, there's consequences, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm not saying spanking is the only way to teach that there's consequences to actions, but until, you know what I mean, we have some other way, you know what I mean? Life is, you know, there's, you know what I mean, you late for a job, you could be fired. You know what I mean? That's going to affect your children,
your family,
you know what I mean?
your household.
Your whole family, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
It's critical, man.
Again, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, sometimes we could, it's how we, you
how you deal with it, I
you,
guess.
how you look at certain things and how you define it. That how we describe it. Make it seem like, well, yeah, got spanked for being school late. You know what I'm saying? Well, hey, you know what I mean? Imagine what a teacher have to do. You already reach a certain way in the class, and then here comes in this new student now. You have to take time out to catch them up. You know what I'm saying? Because we're dealing with youths here. You have to make certain leeway for them. But then you have to make them realize that you're not going to be a child forever. You know what I mean? There's, you're going to mature.
This is his preparation.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's expectations of you as a mature being. And you know what I mean? And there's ways of bringing that about. For some children, you could talk to them. For some children, you have to scream. You have to talk a little loud. To some children, you might have to threaten behind. For some children, you might have to actually, you know what I mean?
You talk a little louder and you raise your hand,
and it's the level, when you're going to break something, have to go to the hospital, you mean then, no, you are spanking your child not to discipline or to punish, you know what I'm saying, but because you are angry.
Angry, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, that's the next thing. If you're going to punish your child, when you're angry, you know what I mean, then I think, you need to step back sometimes, you know what I mean, like, okay, I'm going to calm down, you know what I mean, then deal with the situation, you know what I mean, and then sometimes by that time, maybe some talking, like I said, when my son, at about, at very early age, I was like, I'm through with this, the spanking thing. I remember me getting spanked, you know what I'm saying? And I know, the fear it brought into me, and you know what I mean, and it would make me lie, you know what I mean, even though, because, you're in a state of fear, you know what I mean?
Right,
and, what I mean, a lot of us was taught to fear from our youth, so, I try some, you know what I mean, but there are times, like I said, when, especially as a father, you know what I mean, when you're going to have to, you know what I mean, yo,
you know what I mean?
You're gonna have to, you know what I mean, as a man, you know what I mean, becoming a man, you know what I mean, is not just, the ability to just stand up and pee, and because you're 18, you know what I'm saying, there's responsibility, there's expectations of you as a man, and what our race, our nation, you know what I mean, we lost that ability or that care or that the avenue of introducing our youth to maturity, you know what I mean? Like I said, one was, you know what I mean, in our homeland, in our culture, to become a man wasn't just because you reach a certain age. You had to go through the rites of manhood. It was the initiation, you know what I'm saying? You had to learn how to protect, you know what I mean? The skills it took how to protect and provide, you know what I mean? For your tribe, you know what I mean? For your village. You know what I mean? We, somehow we lose, we stop introducing our children, you know what I mean, to you know what I mean, and to you know what I mean, to the rights of maturity, and whether it be, you know what I mean, a lady or being a young man, or being a man, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, as time go along, you know what I mean, it's going to fall back to that, because, what we're having right now is the result of what we tried from other people, and we're going to eventually have to realize, hey, I'm going to have to do it my way, because other people weren't working, you know what I mean, and that's how it's going to happen, you know what I mean. So, I like to be optimistic, you know what I'm saying, and sometimes the stuff, like you might be in a job, you hate the job, you know what I mean, and you need to move on, you need to move on, but wow, I have rent to pay. I need, oh God, you know what I'm saying? I have, I have my children to, take care of, my family to take care of. You need to leave the job in order to move on. But you're not going to leave the job until something happens where you get fired. You know what I mean? Something, sometimes some life have to just push you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you know what I mean? For you to go in the direction you need to go sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah, and sometimes that's what we have to do, is just trying to show your youth what life is really about. You know what I mean? It's not just about getting up and whatever, you know what I'm saying? And, you have to teach them these things, you have to set the example,
Yeah, Wasa is our guest tonight on It's Your Perspective Talk Show, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. As we like to ask all our guests, man, is there anything that we forgot to ask you, anything you want to, anybody you want to big up, hail up, your website, any of that kind of stuff, man, now is the time to put it all together. And
all the people in the Virgin Islands, especially the people in St. Croix, because this is where I'm from. This is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I'm just new in Facebook. I mean, like to thank all the people who, added me as a friend You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And I hope, you know what I mean, if in this little community we meet each other. You know what I mean? We could be friends even in life and say even a hi. You know what I mean? A simple hi. I hear
That's
you know
the
what I mean?
tricky
You
part.
know, and I'm not gonna cross the line because you know, in our days when we were coming up, you know what I mean, stalking was something a lion, you know what I mean, did before he pounced on a gazelle, a wolf, you know what I'm saying? No, stalking, you know what I mean, is
It's
a
in the
social
paper.
pariah,
Yeah.
at worst a felon. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So you know what I mean, I
Yeah.
you know what I mean, that's the next thing, you know what I mean, um, it's kind of scary, you know what I mean, how we see people trying to, Moses says like right now they're trying to legislate conduct, you know what I'm saying? Harassment is, you know what I mean, yeah, you shouldn't harass people, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, especially back in the day, you know what I mean, actually, a lot of people married couple, you know what I mean, the husband stalked the wife, you know what I mean, not the same we call stalking, no. Didn't take no for an answer, you know what I mean? Oh, come on, baby, you know what I'm saying? I really love you, you know what I mean? Next thing you come with an apple, a mango, you know what I mean? Just until, you know what I mean, finally shows like, what, this person really, you know what I mean? Let me give him some interest, you know what I mean? So, one of the things that they call stalking right now, you know what I mean, is, you know what I mean, like I said, you have no right to harass people, but we gotta be very careful. That's one thing.
I know it's like a real fine line.
Yeah,
I
bro,
know,
you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're
You
saying.
can imagine, you know what I mean?
Real fine
You end up
line.
in the Avis stalking 3:30 Facebook. You know?
That's a no-no. That's a no-no, man.
That's
And,
it.
you know,
It's a funny
and
thing
I
because,
think we used to say that particular section is getting bigger than the other sections in
right,
the
you know,
paper.
the stalking section, you know what I'm saying? No, what institute? That's what I want somebody to tell me. What institute stalking? You know that you see somebody in Kmart, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? They didn't like it, you know what I'm saying? And you end up seeing them like probably in Radio Shack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You say something again, you know what I mean? Is that stalking? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, this is a small island. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
You
like
know?
it's like we always say the whole thing of the Facebook friends, but how do you bridge it to now becoming real friends? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Facebook
Hey.
is cool, but how do you make that connection without getting that it's your perspective showing guests who are stalking, just to say hello.
You know what I'm saying?
That's madness, It's
Yeah,
madness.
that's where we at right now because like I say, our social expression, our cultural expression, we like to that's black people. Really and truly, the expression, the cultural expression we're expressing right now is not black people. You know what I mean? You want to see black people expression? Look around you. Look at the great country called America. You know what I'm saying? Look at in its heyday. You know what I'm saying? The character it expressed. It had a time when whatever country you was in, if you was being, brutalized, being abused, you know what I mean, and just government, and the American people could somehow see your plight and you know what I mean, and bring it, and bring it to issue. You know what I'm saying? They was able to, to change, a lot of stuff that went on in the world. There was a time when America did deserve, the rightful place as a great country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then, as you go along, it's abusing its own citizens. You know what I'm saying? And it's time that a new generation, the new generation start preparing themselves to come and and it's going to happen, without me saying or expecting it, because that's how life proceeds, what I'm
Right,
saying? From the old to the new.
Yeah, just kind of an unrelated note. When Shelly was here, Shelly Moorhead was our guest last night talking about the African Caribbean Reparations and Resettlement Alliance. He's the president of that. The thing that he was saying that I've been thinking about all day today is that it sounds like the Senate legislatures haven't done anything in many years with what's there now. And I was like, man, we got this next group's got to make a next step on that. You know what I'm saying?
What? Reparations.
On reparations.
And I think that is the citizens have to demand it, Kimba.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We gotta get on that because that's important. That has to be part of the plan. But we gotta push that. You know what I'm saying?
That's a subject right there that I think Shelley Moore handled it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not for me to disagree or whatever, but for me, reparations, you know what I mean? It has to be defined first in one, one cohesive definition. I mean, reparations means so many things to so many different people.
Well,
You know what I'm
wasn't he
saying?
saying last night? It's not just money, but it's I guess money given for roads and education, but large sums of money
Right.
that will essentially help us.
Infrastructure and all
In
that.
infrastructure, they just give us. Well, not give. They get. Pay somebody and get all that stuff fixed. Well, I just, for me, man, the other thing too is real quick is that I just think that, in my lifetime I'm not going to see anything with it, but we got to be making some steps. I just can't just be sitting there. Just can't. And that's my point anyway, man.
What do we expect? What do you expect as reparations? Define reparations? What's your definition of reparations?
Well, I think in a sense, it's we were treated bad by a country, and we're saying, hey, inhumane crime, and we want to be compensated for that. We want to be compensated in some degree for that, for the way we were treated, and as Shelley was saying, that compensation can be. It could be cash, or maybe the Danes just pay, give us $250 million and we fix all the roads. I mean that's reparation too, but it has to be done sort of in, like, I guess what he was saying is like a one time. We can't spend this over like 10 years. Give us $250 million now, and they could do that. They got free education over there. They got what else did they say? Healthcare, all that shit's free. That's just sort of what I'm thinking. I mean, I'd like to see it, but I don't think it's gonna be in my lifetime. But the moral of my story is that we now have to figure out what the next step is and get that next step done on the path to getting whatever reparations that we can get.
Well, the fact that we have an ACRA, what is the African Caribbean? What is it?
African Caribbean Reparations and Resettlement Alliance.
All right, African Caribbean Resettlement. We already have that in process. It's just to be consistent. And keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? So, as time go along, it's been an issue that, has been coming up from the time of Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to keep coming up until finally it's addressed. And I don't know if money, I don't know if money, could really pay for,
All the atrocities that we've been through, right?
only the atrocities,
Lots of money.
Is for our parents' contributions, the atrocity, and that's the things that we really need to address. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about this experience that our ancestors had when they came over here, why I'm gonna call it experience, because I detest the word slavery. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When we use the word, we use the word slavery. We never stop and define the word. Stop and and how does the word affect us? We just run along with we were slaves. And what defines that experience? His barbarity, their barbarity, or our contribution. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we keep magnifying their barbarity and the expectations of them to somehow say, they're sorry for their barbarity. Somehow, to me, we're looking at this picture from a victim's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Our foreparents came here. When our foreparents came here, none of them were limp, missing teeth, intelligent, the best of the best. That's what they brought here. The first Africans that came here as indentured servants. You know what I'm saying? If Europeans could have built America by themselves, there would have been no story about slavery. There would have been no, you know what I mean? There would have been no history of slavery. You know what I mean? To the converse would have look how great, the Caucasian, they'd be elevated to the level of angels. You know what I'm saying? Look how a great country. Look what the Caucasian race could accomplish. You know what I'm saying? But because of their delusion of grandeur, that they couldn't, couldn't say, well, hey, thank you. You know what I mean? I expressed the great quality that, that human beings, the potential that we have, we could come to the aid of one another. You know what I'm saying? Instead, they falsify, or perpetrate a story, a perspective that ill serves us. It frees them of their barbarity and chain us to a victim's mentality. You know what I'm saying? So our youth right now, you know what I mean? What can a slave accomplish? What can, you know what I mean? Nothing. In the days, because we were considered slaves, our ingenuity, you know what I mean, that we developed, because we're the ones in the, we're the laborers, you know what I mean? Our ingenuity was robbed from us and patented and credited as, you know what I mean, white, you know what I mean, Caucasian, you know what I mean, invention, you know what I mean, and ingenuity. You know what I'm saying? Because slaves didn't have a right to nothing, to ownership of nothing, because that's what we allowed them to label us as. You understand? And because of that, our contribution, the fact that our foreparents is the one who built this country, our labor, our skill, you know what I mean, our character. You know, we not only built it, we provided the character that defined America as a civilization. You know what I'm saying? What if, because of their brutality, we were, you know, we became jihadists or Zionists or even American colonialists, you know what I mean, give me liberty or give me death. You know how great America, this country would have been. You know what I'm saying? It is our character of forgiveness and mercy that we show them despite their barbarity. You know what I mean? We stayed true to our purpose and our mission of providing a civilization for people who could not build it for their own, who, if we didn't provide it, they would have probably be close to extinct right now, because we got to look back. What state was Europe in the 14th, 15th, 1600s? You know what I'm saying? They had to leave. You know what I'm saying? They had to find a place that they could come now and be able to rest from the barbarity, from the destructions of war, you know, because Europe was from one war to the next, you know what I mean? And if you look back in European history, you cannot find a 10-year, a 5-year period of peace in European history. You know what I'm saying? The plague was decimating decimated Europeans. To this day, the European birth rate is on a zero growth. You know what I'm saying? It is zero to negative. You know what I'm saying? Because of that barbaric way of living, that in their environment. To say they're barbarians, I'm not saying they're barbarians, but because whatever culture that developed, that was their way of expressing themselves. You know what I'm saying? But it does not take from the fact of what our foreparents did, our foreparents' contribution. And when we apply slavery, we give away our ingenuity to another, you know what I'm saying, that frees him of his barbaric ways, because what came from Africa was the best. When they in the industrial revolution, you know, after we built the groundwork for it, they sent to Europe. What was it say on Ellis Island? Send me your what? You're hungry. You're weak. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're destitute. You know what I'm saying? That's who Europe sent over here. You know what I'm saying? After we built the foundation and the framework for it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, once we keep, you know what I mean, applying that slave to without applying any intellectual thought to it, you know, scholarly, you know what I mean, expression to it, you know what I mean, we are always going to be on the what's the proper word for it? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And the end where we at right now, you know what I'm saying?
Behind the 8 ball.
Behind the 8 ball, yeah. You know what I mean? And the wrong, you know, the wrong end of how would I play it out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can't excuse, you know what I mean? You know, I'm not gonna excuse their barbarity. You know what I'm saying? But what about our reaction to their barbarity? You know, we're not Christians by ritual, but we're very much Christians by expression. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at how we expressed ourselves, you could go to the Bible and see the same thing. You know, the same teaching that Christ taught. You know what I mean? Is how we're supposed to deal with our fellow man. We express that. You know what I'm saying? That is why this country can stand today and say it's such a great country, because of not only our contributions, but the character that we express. Not a character of cowardice, not a slave character, but a character that is necessary for civilization to define and classify itself as a civilization. Not because of the technology, the amount of technology you have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, because America has reached the West has reached to the point where it is now regressing to its barbaric ways. You know what I mean? It's now become a technologically advanced. You know what I mean? Barbarians. You know what I mean? Society, barbaric society. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we have the right to even consider ourselves a civilization no more. You know what I'm saying? With the brutality that is seen every day. Police, you know, how the police deal with us, you know what I mean? And as far as legislation, as far as, you know what I mean, the race situation in America, you know what I'm saying? You know, they're showing themselves, you know what I mean,
many things are wrong, man.
Of our foreparents' contribution, you know what I mean? So, what is to be is going to be.
Yeah.
I'm not crying doom. You know what I'm saying? But civilizations rise and civilizations fall.
Yep. Got to start anew. I guess that was the longest. Yeah. Anyway, man, our guest tonight is Keith Edwards. I guess that's a little inside joke, I guess. Thanks for coming out, man, and blessing us, as we like to say to our guests, blessing us with your time.
Yes, was.
Yeah, coming out here and spending some time with us, man. You're always welcome. You know that for sure, man. It's about 10:44 p.m. Real quick, Soup Man. This is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until night here. Streaming live from the vi.com. That's our website. That's the website you got to get on. Streaming live from the vi.com. Go to that website and click on Watch Us Live. And guess what, man? You'll see us live. We got a telephone number too, 340-201-9005. You can also text us on that. We got a text tonight. Thank you for that. 2 Facebook pages. On Twitter, VI Perspective. The show's mission is to inform and empower everyone. And most importantly, Soup, we are streaming live from our high-tech, low-tech studio in the beautiful island of St. Croix, Virgin Islands.
Yep.
Undisclosed location. No radio, no TV, internet only. That's how it goes, man. Any final words, Soup?
Was, you wanted to say something?
Well, Alex Haley said it the best. You know what I'm saying? We always think, you know, roots, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's the only thing to remember about Alex Haley. But there's a quote that Alex Haley said that, you know, I mean, I think that's very, very beneficial. That, you know, I mean, as far as in helping, you know, I mean, progress our way of thinking, our way of expressing ourselves around each other, and it's to find the good and praise it, you know. And I think, you know, as a people, you know what I mean, you sit down and hear people, oh, that's black people, that's why black people that, you know what I'm saying, and you know our greatness, you know, our contribution in you know what I mean to the world is being lost because, you know, that's all we could find is what people, you know, the negatives that they choose to dwell on, you know what I mean. But as you know, as a people, you know, like I said, we have laid the groundwork for real civilizations to build on, you know what I mean, our foreparents' contribution. And when we find the good and start praising it, you know, then, you know, it's going to be more visible and accessible to our youths who are going to need it in order for them to progress into the new and coming century. Peace.
All right, man.
Rastafari lives and reigns.
That's it right there, man.
One perfect love.
Yeah, we say one perfect love is our praise and his blessings. When you put it together, man, you get that perfect love. That's what I'm looking for, man. Perfect love. This is It's Your Perspective Talk Show. We'll be back tomorrow, Soup.
Yes.
We got a guest on the
with it.
Yeah, got a guest lined up. I think tomorrow should be an exciting show. Stick around for that. We're out. Peace.